Welcome back. Let's look at the results of our last mailing to see what really happened to our mail. I have not too big expectations. So this is our Plutonium sale email. We can see that 3 of the emails were sent. So three contacts received the email. We have 0 read and 0% read rate. Why? So those were not really valid email addresses. You can see by clicking on the contacts, you can see the members of this send. So we can see that Biff, Emmett, and Marty McFly got it. Here's a little sign. That means that this email bounced. So if I open up Biff Tannen now, I see that his email address bounced. So we can't send him any emails anymore. If I look at Marty, I see that he hasn't bounced, but probably that's like a catch-all email address on the pinheads.com domain. So our test shows that the emails were sent out, but we didn't get any emails read and failed and so on. So we don't really have a good statistics on this one. Normally we should see the click counts here. So on plutoniumsales.com we have 0 clicks, obviously because none of the emails went to the right place. So let's change that. Let's do a real import with real email addresses. Try to send this newsletter to them again, because I want to show you something about resending an email. And we're going to see some statistics as well. I'm going to open some emails, so we're going to see some live traffic. And we will learn what's the difference between send example and doing a test send. So let's start with the import. I created 3 emails, new ones. These are all on my domains, which I can use. Let's make an import. You already know how to make an import, so let's go to contacts and then to import. And we're choosing the file. Okay. I have the same delimiters and enclosures. You already know what these mean, so I want to make sure that we are importing it to the right place. So this will be email. This is first name. And we have last name. Same way. And let's add the new tag. The previous one was newsletter, test newsletter. I'm going to call this test newsletter live, because these include real email addresses. So we're going to import them again. Import the browser. It's going to be very fast. Let's talk about the import one more time. We see here 3 created, 0 merged, 1 ignored, and no data found. What is all this data? So when we're looking at our file, what happens here is this line here is also imported but ignored. You see, it's ignored because it's not a real line. It's just a header. So that's the one ignored. 0 merged is because these are all new contacts. But wait, we imported the same people. Yes, but for Mautic, these are not the same people. If they would have the same email, they would be the same people. But they have different emails, so they're different contacts. 3 created, correct. And no data found. So no data found is after the first empty line is this data here, the 06. Because that's the last line, has no data found. So what happens here is that it goes until line 6 and says, sorry, the last line was empty, so I stop importing. Cool. Now we create a segment from these contacts. So let's make a new segment. And the name will be Back to the Future 2, because we are adding this. I will call this live because these are real. And by the filters, I will filter for the tag, which includes newsletter test 2, live, sorry. And I didn't mention this before, but we also have the ability to add more filters here. So I could add just another filter here and say I want everyone with an email address. So email is not empty. Obviously it will be also 3 people, because in my import I imported 3 people. So 3 of them have this tag. But I just want to show you that here you have the ability to add multiple conditions. So I won't use this. So let's save it, wait for our segment to refresh, which hopefully will be like, I don't know, probably 1 minute. And then we head back to our newsletter and run some tests to see what really happens with those contacts. So I have already the 3 here. Great, these are my contacts. Let's head back to the newsletter. This is my Plutonium sale email. I can see 3 already sent. So what happens, oops, what happens if I add this new segment, which I will call Back to the Future Live. So I have 3 entirely different contacts in this segment added. Let's save it. And what do we see here? You see, it's telling me that I have two lists here, by the way. And what do I see here? I see that 3 are pending. 3 pending. Because the 3 new contacts haven't received the email yet. 3 of them have already got it. And we have a 0% read rate and 0 read. So what happens here is that I have this announcement, this message, this newsletter, this broadcast. And I can read the segment and it will recalculate and show me just the new contacts. So this is pretty cool. So you don't need to create over and over again new emails. You can just add more segments to the same email and send it out. And this is pretty cool because if you add the segment containing the same email addresses as in a previous segment, this number here will not grow because one contact can get the same newsletter just once if it's a segment email. If it's a template email, it's a different story, but segment email, one person just once. Okay, so let's make a test. Let's send an example to us again. Let's see how it looks. We're gonna go a little bit into almost like code detail to see how this test email looks like. But actually, I just sent a test. I'm gonna make one change here. So we didn't talk about personalization, which is super important, and you can find an article on Mautic which lists all the tokens what you can use, but the tokens what you can use to personalize are pretty simple. So you use curly brackets, you write contact field equals, where's the typo? And here you would write the first name. So it's first name, like this. And I can use last name here as well. So I can say contact field equals last name. Okay, by Plutonium now, great. Let's save this newsletter and send an example to us. Now let's see how the email looks like now. The email has a test in here, which this is not what we added. This is coming from Mautic saying that, hey, this is just a test. You shouldn't take it seriously. And then we have hello first name, last name. And then we have the unsubscribe link. And we have this. So if I click on this, then I don't see anything. If you look into a later version than Mautic 4.01, maybe this will work for you. But for me, it doesn't work at this point. And the same with the unsubscribe. Record not found. Why? The reason is because this is just a test email. So it's not connected with a real person. As you can see, I couldn't use, we didn't use Marty or any of the contacts first name, last name, because this is just a test email and the system doesn't know which contact to take. And unsubscribe also doesn't work because there is no one to unsubscribe. It's just a test. It's not connected with a contact. Okay, so that's very important about test emails. You will not get the final version of that email. You will not see how the email actually looks like. If you would like to test an email for real, you need to make a test send. And you can make a test send if you are, the easiest way is to clone the email. Now my email has a new ID. So if I save it, I see that this is another email here. This is 285. And you send it to your own segment. By the way, just one interesting thing I want to show you here. When you look at the emails, this is 4 pending here. Why? And this is actually super important. So this one here, 3 sent, 3 pending. Remember that Dr. Emmett Brown and Biff were bounced. So we can't send them emails. Marty was okay, plus the 3 new emails which I added. So altogether 4. So Mautic knows who he will send the emails to. Will not show here the bounces. Will show only those email addresses which are actually valid. But what if we look at our segments? We see there are 3 people still in both segments. Why is that? Because they're still a member of a segment. They cannot get emails, so we come here, we don't see them, but they're still a member of a segment because we can reach them other ways. We can show them pop-ups, or we can use them for statistical reasons, or we can run campaigns to them. Although they're bounced, it doesn't mean that we can't manage them. Or they may be unsubscribed. It's still, we can send them pop-ups because they couldn't unsubscribe from the pop-ups. Okay, so the second is Plutonium sale, which is actually my test here. I will not send out to these segments, but I think I have something like only me. Yeah, just me segment, and I will make a real send to this segment with real. There's 2 contacts, probably I have 2 tests here. Let's send it out. Okay, we sent out 2 emails, and let's see if I really get them. This usually takes a little bit longer because it uses cron job, so it can be about 1 or 2 minutes. But it doesn't change the fact that I will get this email and it will look exactly like that, how one of my contacts will get it at the end. It will be no test in it. This is like a real email. So this is one of the reasons why you should have a test segment for yourself to test your emails. Okay, so I got my email. I can see that the subject line is Sale on Plutonium. Joey Double Opt-in is the name of my contact. Let's see how the unsubscribe works. So I click on this and then we say that we're sorry to see you go, blah, blah, blah. So this contact unsubscribe. Did it really? Let's look up my contact. And I can go here to emails and look at the contacts. And I can see that this person here, Joey Double Opt-in, now unsubscribed. He asked for do not contact email. I can still resubscribe. So if I reload this contact, I will probably see that he can be contacted again. You see, it's gone. So we are fine. Okay, what else we see? You look at our button. Our button here in the bottom, you can see that it has a real link. So this is actually tracked. Let's click on that. Of course, this website is not available, plutoniumsales.com, but at least we did the click. And thanks God it's not available. And our name is also properly showing. So this is how you test emails for real. Okay, I'm gonna click now back on emails, look at my Plutonium sale. So I can see that somebody clicked. I can even see who clicked. So I come here and I open, I see that this person clicked on the email. And both of them were read because I have 2 emails here. I read it in both test accounts. So we have a 100% read rate. So let's go back to our original email and let's send it out to those 3 new contacts as well. See what happens. You see, it will be only sent to 3 persons. It won't be sent to 6 contacts again. So you don't have to ever worry. If you're resending something, you don't ever have to worry that you will send in duplicates with Mautic. Now let's see what arrived and how we can fill out these statistics as well. So all 3 emails arrived here, and you can see that the names are perfect for all of them. And I can unsubscribe here. I can click, so I can click on this one. Obviously it won't load because Plutonium for sale is not okay, and all of these emails should be marked as opens. So if we go back, we add 3 new opens and a couple of clicks to our statistics. So let's go back, and indeed we have 3 read from 6 and 50% read. And we see this in the statistics as well. All is combined 6. Here are the 2 segments. Here are the read statistics. In the second one, everybody read it. In the first one, we have 3 unopened. And these are the clicks because I just clicked once. And we can exactly see who clicked. Biff was the culprit. So this is what we learned today, how to test our emails, that it's always better to test with the real send because then all the customization is done. We learned how to add the tokens, which you can find in the Mautic documentation or on my website. And we also learned what it means if someone subscribes, unsubscribes, and where you can see it. Okay, let's move forward because we still have a lot to cover.